Welcome back. This is the third of the 3 short videos that I wanted you to look at this week, or I should say today, and I will be actually posting more later on this week. The next thing is when it's graphing using y equals mx plus b. It's actually really easy to graph. There's a little shortcut that you learn. As long as you know the y-intercept and the slope, then you can graph. So here I have one that the y-intercept is 5 and the slope is -2 over 7. So the steps are pretty easy. You make a little mark at the y-intercept. So the y-intercept was at 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you use the slope to get to your next point. So we're going to go down 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and make a mark. All you need is 2 points to graph a line. And then I'm going to get this pre-made, so I'm going to just grab that. And then you take your ruler. Don't just go through those 2 points. Extend your line in both directions. Makes sense that this graph is going down. Just always double check that. Like, so it's going down as you read to the right. Like, just like you read a sentence to the right, you always read a graph to the right, and this one's going down as it goes to the right. If you know the x and the y intercept, you can also do a graph. So if we knew that the x-intercept is 5, so let's go with x-intercept of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the y-intercept is -2, then again, you just need 2 points and you graph a line. Okay, took a couple more examples here. Sometimes it's not in the proper form. So let's go with 3x minus 2y plus 8 equals 0. That is not in the correct format. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move everything else over to the other side except for the y. So it's become -3x and -8, because the signs always change when you bring it over to the other side. Now I'm going to divide everything by -2. A negative and a negative are going to turn that back to be positive. -8 divided by -2 is also positive. Now I'll do this one without graph paper. Sometimes for some of you guys you won't have graph paper, and that's okay. This is what I'd want as a rough sketch. Okay, so the y-intercept is 4. So make a little dot and call it 4. And then what I want you to do is I want you to go up 2 and over 3. So about there. And then you would, it's easier for you because it's hard for me with this pen, but then you would take your line. If you've got a ruler, even better, and you would go through the line. Now, if you're doing it without graph paper, what I would prefer is if you could give me that point. So that point would be 3, 6, because you went, like, you were over 3, but then you had gone up 2. So if you don't have graph paper, I would like that. If you do have graph paper, you don't have to do that. Okay, that's good. If you want to watch another example, I'll do another one. Let's say y equals, let's just go with a number like 4x take away 3. Now, every other time, the slope has been a fraction. But if we don't have a fraction, you can make it 1 by calling it over 1, because it just makes it easier if you can think of the rise over the run. So let me graph that. Y-intercept is -3, so 1, 2, 3, and just put a dot. And then now I have to go up 4 and over 1. So I went up 4 spots and then over 1. And like I said, it's hard for me to do this. It's a little bit easier when you got your own pencil and paper, but something like that. Okay. Now, if you don't have graph paper, what I would like you to do is tell me what that point would be. So here was at -3, we went up 4, so it took us to 1, and then we were over 1. Okay, that's graphing using the slope and the y-intercept. That other one is if they gave you an equation and you wanted to do it using the x and the y-intercepts. So let's go with 4x take away 2y equals, I don't know, 8 seems to be my number of the day today. If I want to find the x-intercept, you let y equals 0. When you want to find the y-intercept, you let x equals 0. So to find the x-intercept, I'm going to say 4x take away 2y equals 8. So 4x equals 8, x equals 2. So that would be the point 2, 0. Here it would be 4 times 0 take away 2y equals 8. So negative 2y equals 8, y equals -4. So for the y-intercept, x is 0, so that would be the point 0, -4. I guess I'll just squeeze this in the middle here. So the x-intercept was at 2, 0, and the y-intercept was at -4, and then it just goes up like that. Okay, that's it for videos for today. Have a good one.